Time for what?
Time for what?
Experience in college.
Time for reinforcement.
Time for liftoff!
Where nothing is impossible unless you think it is impossible. It's
College.
My college scholarship.
Yes. Boom.
College ran by real fast.
You hung in with the best college.
First time for everything.
Well, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Let's do this thing.
Genius, let's do this thing!
Welcome, everyone, to the show. We are actually in Spokane, Washington, in the infamous Gonzaga University. And then we have a special guest who's going to introduce himself on the air.
Hello, I am Gio Burgos. I went to SI. I'm currently a sophomore at Gonzaga, nursing major. And from San Francisco.
So tell us about your experiences here at Gonzaga.
It's been super fun. It's a very super friendly campus. You know, it's not too big of a school where it's, you get lost in the crowds or where the lecture halls are too big to the point that your professor doesn't even know your name. But it's not too small to the point where you see the same exact faces every single day. So it's a perfect balance. It's in Spokane, which it is quite a random city, but it has its quirks. It's very filled with nature, very much filled with nature. It's a very, very prideful college town. So yeah.
No. I was talking to some of the locals here at Spokane. They were talking about the trails and the landscape. But now we do have a lot of different listeners outside of the San Francisco area because you're a San Francisco native.
Oh yeah.
So how did you transition from a very international major city to a place like, if you say Spokane, people go, where's Spokane?
Yeah. Well, it was definitely super helpful to come to Gonzaga with a good number of people from SI. Some people from my high school, which helped the transition a lot more. But even being able to meet a bunch of people from Washington and people from actual Spokane, talking to them about the quirks of the city and things to do here and having them show me around the city. It's nice.
So it became a home away from home,
Definitely.
even though the home is totally different.
Oh yeah.
Over here. Now, for some people who are not looking, because this is one of many Jesuit schools in the U.S., when they were touring me around, they were saying, you only had to take 2 religious classes. You don't have to go to the masses, but you could definitely participate. You have a church on campus, huge campus ministry center. So how is that for those who are religious and some who are not?
It's a Jesuit university, so it's rooted in faith, and there are a bunch of different outlets to go if you want to, express your religion, whatever religion it be. There are also a bunch of other students that don't, partake in religion or affiliate themselves with any religion, and it's still completely fine. Everyone's very welcoming here. It's a very inviting kind of school.
Yeah. Now, Zag's symbol, Gonzaga, is all over. You guys made national news because of March Madness. But you have a lot of different sports. So is this a campus that's very athletics? I mean, you have some Olympians who graduated from Gonzaga, or it's a big mixture?
I mean, to be honest, it is. I feel like it is a big mixture. Basketball is what we're known for.
Yes.
And it doesn't really get too crazy until March Madness. When it comes to sports. But Gonzaga, it's a very, very prideful school. And, literally every weekend you hear some people say, go Zags. When you're walking back to your place. But, it's a good mix. It's definitely a good mix.
They have a lot also pride too. I know you have a new engineering buildings. I know you have a robotics team. I saw these little robots floating all over the place. Well, not floating. We're not there yet. But tell us about the nursing program, because there's not that many schools, especially a medium-sized school, who could afford offering a nursing program, because it's so competitive to get in, but also very expensive to train a wonderful future nurse, aka superhero like yourself.
So when I was applying for school, I really wanted to go to a direct admit, so I didn't have to worry about another separate application. And Gonzaga, they have a great nursing program. It's 80 people to a class approximately, I believe. And it's great. You're going to be with your classmates, with your other people in your cohort for like a good number of your classes. So, I mean, right now I'm taking anatomy and microbiome along with the labs. So, the people in my classes that I see in the lecture are like, I see the same faces in the people in my lab. So, we all get a lot closer throughout the 4 years, which is, it's great. I mean, nursing, it's definitely a difficult major.
Yeah.
And it's very important to have that kind of support group and like to have other people push you, like push each other essentially, and it's great.
So it's an encouraging environment
Definitely.
for the nursing program. But I hear other students, I mean, nursing is a whole new matrix of classes, so it's hard to double major. But do you have a lot of other friends? Like I heard I'm business and I'm also in broadcasting. Do you hear that a lot?
So at Gonzaga, we have a 8 and 9 semester program. When it comes to the 8 semester programs, you don't really hear too many people taking up a double major. Personally, I haven't come across another nursing student that's taking up a double major, but some of my friends are taking up minors, which is pretty common actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow, that's impressive. Now, I also heard you bragging about an apartment that you're staying at that's associated with Gonzaga, but they have a lot of traditional dorms. The typical,
Yes, yeah.
you have a roommate and a shared bathroom. So how are the housing, like what are your other friends talk about the housing situation here? There's a long pause there.
There are a bunch of different cultures when it comes to the different dorm buildings here on campus.
Yeah, I could tell.
Some of them are more social, some of them are more relaxed. Some of them, they're for specific majors, which is pretty cool.
I heard there's themes, right? The leadership one and engineering one. Is there one for nursing or broadcasting or theater?
None like that, but I mean, there's some that are a lot more social. And like I feel like, the theater, broadcasting majors, business majors, they're more to be put into the social dorms. But I mean, it's, anyone can go anywhere, essentially.
No, I see everyone's just really fairly nice around here and stuff like that. Yeah, even the locals around here. So since you are a college student, people would hate listening to this and me not asking, so what do you do for fun over here? What does a ZAG do for fun here at Spokane, Washington, both on campus and off, besides March Madness? We all know about that, but there's not games every day here. So what would someone do if they're done with all their studies, study? What do they do?
So, I mean, if you look around, there are a ton of Lime scooters.
Yes, I do see that.
There are so many people that are on Lime scooters just going around the city.
Yeah.
During the weekends, but there's also a ton of nature places to visit. There are the mountains. There's Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is like 30 minutes away from here.
Okay.
And it's super pretty. They have lakes, no oceans like the Bay, but Spokane, they have some pretty spots here.
Right, and I heard there's Spokane River, but it's filled with mercury, so don't swim in it.
Yeah, and iron and a bunch of other stuff.
I heard of the old mines back in the day. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So much for regulations. No, but it's beautiful, the nature. My husband thought it was a commercial driving in here all the time, so it is really gorgeous. And then, what's the season? So you are your second year here at Gonzaga.
Yep.
So what does the seasons are like up here in Washington?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we get 4 seasons.
Nice.
Literally just a week ago, it was like 86 degrees. Now it's, it's starting to get colder. It was raining last night.
Yeah.
We get snow, we get fall. We have all 4 seasons. It's really pretty and it's a nice to experience, especially coming from the Bay, where we usually just experience like 1 or 2 seasons at most.
Oh, I bet. Now, I heard that any kid could be in the choir or theater or dance, and I know you have some amazing chops out there. So have you been participating in that, and do you hear a lot of students taking advantage of the visual performing arts here?
So I'm actually not a part of the choir here on campus, but I recently joined this group called Thirst Ministry, and it's very similar to the music ministry at SI.
Nice.
And I'll be playing piano this Thursday for them. This is gonna be my first time playing or like performing or like doing something musically like something with music
Right.
at Gonzaga. So I'm really excited for that. I'll be singing there too.
Nice.
But I know some people that are a part of the choir. We have an a cappella group. There are a bunch of dance groups here on campus. So whatever artistic outlet, I'm sure that you could find something here.
It's good to get involved. Yeah, and I love that you mentioned that because I was talking to another student who's going to another private school that's 30,000, and they'll go to different clubs like anime club or gaming club, and it's like, oh, so did you talk to her? It's like, oh, there were so many people there. It was hard to even talk to anybody. But I don't think you have that experience here.
Yeah, no, the size at Gonzaga, it's perfect. It's small enough for people to for you to make relations to moderators or your professors, but it's also large enough for you to not see the same exact faces every single day.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Now, how's the diversity? I saw a lot of promotion here. There's 26% of students who identify as BIPOC and stuff like that. But this is a different culture than where you're used to in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's a predominantly white institution, but there are definitely a good amount of people of color. A bunch of clubs too. I'm a part of the Filipino club here, and it's really fun. It definitely brings me back to the Bay, or it reminds me of being with my family.
Beautiful.
So I'm sure that you'll be able to find a group or some sort of affinity groups regarding
Great for all the different cultures,
yes,
right? And then are there Filipino faculty members or faculty members with diverse backgrounds?
I've met one.
Okay.
But I haven't seen too many.
So something that many colleges across the nation need to work on, right? But it's something to grow. But you feel that there's a support network here that's available for you too. So if you could go back in time and talk to Gio, who's in high school, or your other friends, right? Because there's only one beautiful Gio out there. What would you tell them about looking for school, and then if they were thinking about, or even maybe not thinking about Gonzaga, just because they're not familiar with the campus or the location?
I think it's really important to really not focus on the name of the school, because I feel like, there's a bunch of pressure that comes to deciding where you go to school, and, the prestige behind it, or, the kind of clout per se that goes behind the school. But really, it really just depends on, how you fit with, how well you fit into the school, and how well does it match your preferences. And, really just sit with what it is that you want, that you would like to see in a school, or where you'd see yourself excelling at the most, and picking out the schools that that fit those requirements. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Gio, what a blessing you are. You do have a radio voice. So if you ever don't go to nursing, maybe do your own nursing podcast show for future students.
Well, I'll let you know about that, Ms. Picaro.
Okay. Well, there was a nursing group that got onto America Got Talent. So maybe once you become a nurse, you could be that next group. So
We'll see.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for this interview, and we look forward to hearing great news about you in the future.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your precious day to listen to us. So subscribe so that you could download this podcast wherever you may be. We're on so many different streaming devices, but also you can find out more information about College for All at college4all.com. We're also on Twitter at collegeforall.amv, Instagram collegeforall.amv, and more to come. Thank you, and have an amazing day.